Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel as we're going to take a look at the Aquarius Full Moon happening on August 19th, 2024 at 2:26 p.m. Eastern Time. So be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. So looking at this chart, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot going on. I was like, where do we start with this? Well, obviously, we start with the moon. So the full moon is at 27 degrees of Aquarius, and this is fixed air, which supports our visions, developing where we want to go, understanding what is possible in our future, being able to pull those frequencies into our everyday life with the moon there, and wanting us to see the bigger picture of what we can create and manifest. This is where it would be beautiful to have a vision board or something that gives you clarity of thought and opens you up to more of yourself. This is also about your individual frequency, your authentic self, and being able to be different, especially as it's at the end of Aquarius, where you could feel more comfortable in your own skin. Maybe previously it was hard to be different, or you didn't feel like you belonged, or you didn't know if you fit in, so to speak. But the Aquarian journey is one of understanding this is who I am. This is beautifully aligned with the mosaic in humanity's world. And I'm here to be myself. I'm here to live my life on my own terms and to invest myself in the directions that call to me. Aquarius is also where we can seek to give back and connect with the bigger energies of the collective in some capacity. And so you could actually feel quite inspired around something that is calling to you, that is also in alignment with your own ideology, creative force, and anything that is important to you. Now, on the opposite side of the chart, with the full moon, we have the sun at 27 degrees of Leo, conjunct a retrograde Mercury at 26 degrees of Leo as well. Now, this can be the energy of being stuck in a thought pattern, figuring something out. Mercury retrograde is reviewing, reconsidering, reevaluating. It's also Mercury retrograde of relax. Relax the mind. Calm the overthinking. Make sure that you're not trying to figure it out or rush something when it's not time. When the sun and Mercury are conjunct, it is easier to say something. We can feel like we need to communicate more. We need to express ourselves. This is where declarations can be made, but retrograde means that they are then retracted. It's not the full story. Only certain components are being said. So with the moon and the sun in these fixed signs, there is a part of ourselves that needs to move forward, but we could also be very proud and strong with where we're at. The Mercury influence is important because we could be split between what we think and what we feel, or what we're perceiving is possible, and the mind is still wondering, how would that work, or does this benefit me? Do I really want that? So the moon opposing Mercury is important because, again, you could feel that two parts of yourself are in different energies or different needs. And as if that isn't enough, we also have all three of these squaring Uranus, now at 27 degrees of Taurus. The furthest Uranus has traveled in Taurus, and it's literally nearly an exact square. See how it's at 27 degrees of Taurus, 11 minutes, and the moon is at 27 degrees 15. So they're only apart by 4 minutes. This is a tight T-square with all 4 planets. And actually, this Uranus is the strongest, is electrifying, is the zinger and the shocks. And it's here to dismantle to awaken, to bring surprises, and it creates instability where the fixed signs want stability. And so this is going to be big surprises and shocks, changes, developments, as if we haven't had enough, right? And it's working with Mercury retrograde, which means even what develops and comes about is not certain, is still going to change later on. And there could be something that pulses through you that feels like a very new frequency. Like I'm getting it as the electrical currents moving through the collective being very restless, unsettled, triggered, not knowing what to do with the energy, not knowing the best outlet. And even feeling that in turbulence, unhealthy turbulence, but also learning to manage it. So I feel that this is a full moon that will directly impact our nervous system and our minds. And we're going to need to know how to calm, how to take care of ourselves, just how to allow the energy to flow through us without it defining who you are, overly attaching to it. The fixed signs have strong attachment. And so there could be something here that you were counting on and it gets changed once again. Just so you know, I'm recording this on July 26th. July 26th. So if something has drastically changed before the full moon here, and I'm not mentioning it, that's why. But this is a full moon of more sudden changes, sudden developments, and something cracking open, and even maybe being revealed. Being revealed. Now, the other supportive energy in the mix is that there is an element here that you're feeling is right on time, whether that is the revolution or the evolution that's coming in. It's on fire. You know, it's happening. There's a lot that's activated, but it could be exciting. It could be like, yes, we're busting through some things and, you know, things are being taken down or shaken up and we're seeing more of what's possible as the energy breaks up what has been. So that's one strong energy signature here in the full moon. But wait, there's more. If you purchase now, you're going to get a second T-square for free. Yes, I am that corny. Okay, so I had other videos for you discussing the square between this Saturn at 17 degrees Pisces 28 and this Jupiter 17 degrees 26, a Gemini. The square is actually exact on the Aquarius full moon. And we still have the influence, the restlessness of this Mars. And we also have Venus in Virgo at 18 degrees. So you can see how there's a second T-square here between these four planets. So you have 4 planets in the fixed signs. You have 4 planets in the mutable signs. And this is just unknowns. What's happening? What's going on? Confusion. This Venus is actually the weaker energy. She's opposing this Saturn here. And she's receiving the square from both planets in Gemini. So Venus in Virgo is being overruled, so to speak. The feminine energy is being overruled, feeling intense pressure, maybe pushback, changes. Because these 3 have already been in a dialogue. Saturn in Pisces is behind the scenes, what you can't see, what you don't visibly see as presenting itself, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, maybe a lot of gossip, a lot of possibilities. And Venus and Virgo, she just wants, just give me a clear answer. Give it to me straight. Don't mess around. I've got work to do. She's hardworking, you know, head down. Let me make some progress. It could be harder to work around the full moon. It could feel like you can't concentrate as much or you're easily distracted. But here's some good points, is that there's going to be things to work on as they evolve and as they change. I've been mentioning, you know, keep your expectations open. Don't be locked into something because it's probably going to drastically change or be upended. And learn to be okay with that. So there's an element here of being in the unknown. Lots of shifting and moving. But I see this as opening up, actually, new potentials. New potentials come forward, new energy is presented, something that wasn't seen is now an option. When you have this much in the mix, you could be looking for something reliable. And I feel that what is reliable is coming back to yourself and what you need. How you manage your own energy, your own feelings, actions, all that good stuff. And honestly, there could be disappointment with that Saturn opposing Venus. When we go through the rulership energy trail, the moon, since we're looking at this full moon, being ruled by Aquarius, in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, Uranus in Taurus, Taurus ruled by Virgo. Virgo is ruled by both Mercury, that's the traditional ruler, and then Chiron has been associated with Virgo as a ruling planet, asteroid, really. And then if we follow that, this Venus in Virgo going to Mercury in Leo goes to the sun. If we follow the energy trail through Venus in Virgo going to Chiron in Aries, Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is in Gemini. Gemini ruled by Mercury goes to the sun. So it comes back to the sun in Leo at 27 degrees. But wait, we're not done, because now that sun at 27 degrees of Leo is on the receiving end of the finger of God that I talked about as well in the Leo new moon chart, which is this Neptune at 29 Pisces, and also this Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. See the green lines pointing here? The pressure on your creative force in evolving into a new part of yourself can be wildly exciting and unknown. And I think as a collective, that's what we are each moving through in this lifetime, at this time on the planet. You are meant to be meeting new parts of yourself, to take a risk on where you could go, and to know that the planetary forces here are requiring each of us to do so. I mean, we're on this big cycle of evolutionary change that can be too much at times. It's too much because we don't know what to rely on. You rely on yourself. And you look at, what can I create with this? What can I bring forward that is related to my light, that's related to my talents and my gifts? And how do I move this in a way that feels good for me, that reminds me I'm strong, I'm capable, I've got this? And even though the sun is conjunct retrograde Mercury, it's like, but don't over rely on your mind that's trying to figure some things out. Drop into your body. Trust yourself. Trust what you're feeling in the solar plexus. And because the sun and Mercury are opposing the Aquarius full moon, I think we're getting some very serious, big deal cosmic downloads that are busting us free of our previous definitions of self, our previous expectations of ourselves in this lifetime. And I hope that in the best possible way, we each feel an uprising into more of what we can do in this lifetime. And sometimes we only feel that through the intense pressure of change. You're being pushed into new parts of yourself that you've never met before. There's so many ways that this chart is cosmic. I mean, you have Uranus at 27 degrees of Taurus, which is the Pleiadian constellation, activating these other star points. We're becoming different versions of ourselves, and we don't get it at some level, but we feel it, we sense it. It could be bringing you new excitement, that we're not going to be facing change or problems from a previous mindset or a previous level of consciousness. We are rising up in how we're able to navigate this dynamic time on the planet. We're meeting new selves, new parts of ourselves as we spiral up. And we know in some part of our being, this is exactly where we're meant to go. And maybe there's a part of you that can just trust, let the chips fall where they may. And with the Mutable T-square, if you have lots of mutable planets, for example, you've probably got this. Like, you're ready for the change. You can handle it. You're feeling like, yeah, this is my normal life. I'm always, looking for my other choices, my other options, or, what can I do differently or improve or do again? And so I feel like there's this beautiful growth opportunity here, and it will be based on how you approach change and growth. And there could be something that comes to fruition, because what I keep feeling in this chart is that there's new parts of ourselves blooming because of all of this pressure and change and uncertainty. Like, I keep seeing in the middle of the chart, like this new flower coming to life. Think of the lotus flower that grows and blooms because of the pressure in the environment. So if you keep that as your intention, or maybe you identify what that could look like for you, this could be very invigorating. And these could be the changes that we've needed or wanted or waiting for, either personally or collectively. I feel like some things are never going to be the same after this Aquarius full moon. There's too much pressure here. There's too much moving through. I mean, going back to the fact that we have these two T-squares that involve 8 planets, right? 4 planets each, plus the finger of God with Pluto and Neptune. All planets are on deck here. All planets are involved. And then you could also pull in Chiron, as Chiron at 23, retrograde, is sextiling the moon and trining these 2 planets in Leo. So all energies are participating. And know that it could be something that you've waited for. is busting through a new part of yourself you've been intending to experience, or even something in your life you've wanted to create or recreate. There's just very strong creative powers in this Aquarius full moon. Use them wisely, use them intentionally, use them with a lot of trust in what you can create and manifest. And that's probably one of the best ways to approach the full moon. We are growing and blossoming into new parts of ourselves with these multidimensional energies. And that's why it is not only revolutionary, but evolutionary. And it's taking us forward. I'm trying to remember the last time I've seen a full moon chart like this, and I can't recall recently where all planets have been involved like this, and asteroids. So, with all that being said, I hope this supports you in whatever changes are happening and developing. And keep in mind, with Mercury retrograde, there will still be more to figure out, sort out, talk through. And then we're going to move into September, and Pluto re-enters 29 degrees of Capricorn September 1st until November 22nd. That activates more of the USA Pluto return, but also what you are powerfully transforming in this lifetime will be ending, clearing out, dying, transforming, and evolving at a very deep level. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here during this Aquarius full moon reading and interpretation. I'll be back soon with our next new moon, the Virgo new moon, which begins eclipse season. Yes, eclipse season is beginning with a Pisces lunar eclipse, September 17th and 18th. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares and subscribes. I so appreciate it. And I'll see you back here on my channel soon.